Well, we can't call Mother Nature forgetful as we wrap up our first full week of the new year and do so with number one, snow still on the ground, and number two, freezing temperatures for really the rest of today into tonight through tomorrow morning. Let's start with a live look outside of Television City. Does make for a pretty sight with the blue sky and the sunshine. It's still just a light dusting outside the mothership. I know that if you work up to the northwest and the northeast portion of our highlighted counties, certainly more still remains on the ground because we haven't had a chance for hardly any type of melt. 30 is as good as we're seeing right now in Miami and Grove. Compare that to the 25 that hangs in Joplin and Carthage. And let's drop all the way down to 21 in that string that runs from Iola across the state line east into Stockton. Now our daily almanac for this January 7th, we'd normally top out about 44. Well, we're going to have to wait till tomorrow afternoon to quite get there. And when we factor in the wind, at least it's shifting, and this is much better than what we saw this morning. But when we do factor in the wind, we still have wind chills as low as 14 up to the north. Throw 13 right now in at Yates Center. For those of you that were not able to join us this morning, we actually dropped as low as 2. So while this is still bitterly cold, we're kind of emerging from that dangerous standpoint. Now, we got all consumed with snow yesterday, and rightfully so. And while we talk about our temperatures today, it's hard to fathom that we're actually 7 degrees warmer today than what we were at this point in time yesterday. And then if you look up here to where our system rolled in from, look at the difference in Billings and in Denver. Almost a 40-degree warm-up for them. We're certainly not going to see anything that extreme, but it does give you an idea about how the warmth is on the way as the cold front now is pushed down. Really ranges from South Texas along the Gulf up to the mid-Atlantic, and we're able to avoid any watches or warnings. In fact, the majority of the warnings and watches throughout the entire Midwest that were associated with yesterday's snow, now a thing of the past. Got some cloud cover moving in from the west, but we'll show the old sea level pressure here in a little bit, and you'll see why it remains so dry and no travel concerns if you have to be on the road. Tell you what, travel concerns, that is of a very, very worrisome problem for people out in the Northeast. That is the same system that made that U-shape. Started off in Washington State, bowed through the 4 states, took off through Kentucky, the entire Commonwealth, now under a state of emergency, and it has made its way all the way to Maine. So you've got more than 2,000 flights that have already been canceled or delayed in the U.S. And that's what they call the good old-fashioned bomb cyclone, our first one of 2022 we've been able to talk about. Now at least it's pressing off the Atlantic coast. Look at all those H's there on the left-hand side, an idea of the high pressure that ranges through the Midwest. And that is why, even though we get a little cloud cover that moves in from central Kansas, don't have to worry about any precipitation with it. Afternoon planner, let's go mid-30s, so not enough to give us really much of a melt. Now, eventually, this is going to play a key factor for us as we work into the weekend. Watch the wind arrows here and look at the bottom there. South gusts increasing to 20 miles per hour. So as we push through Saturday, it is going to be a little bit blustery, and the fact that it comes in from the south, well, that's going to grab a whole lot of Gulf moisture. Now, we're going to have majority of rain on Saturday. Majority, not all. This is what I want everybody to focus on. If you need to be out and about early Saturday morning, watch a little bit of the pink begin to pop up with the cloud cover. That is the freezing drizzle, a little freezing rain thrown in there. It's really going to be the majority of the northern counties and also the eastern part of southwest Missouri. This got a chance for that freezing rain till about 8, 9 o'clock. I think the best chance for it to start would be about 5 a.m. and last until about 8 or 9. So be apprised of that situation. Then after that, we got a little bit of a wet Saturday. We don't see anything severe. We really don't see a whole lot of hard rain. But it just kind of scatters, and you'll notice it just hangs on as well. The hardest rain pushes all the way to the right-hand portion of our screen. You got to get into south central Missouri. But finally, we get a chance to clear off there on Sunday. Give you a national perspective when we talk about the Gulf moisture, and you can watch it move up here with those wind arrows that we were talking about. But certainly all the snow will stay out to the west and up to the far north of us. Then we can talk about Tanya's favorite word, warm up, because we'll throw up the 40s over the weekend. So that's right on par when we showed the daily almanac. But there we go, Tanya, a little bit above average as we push from Monday through Thursday with temperatures either high 40s or low 50s.
Yeah, Well, I was excited about the weekend and you told me the freezing temperatures Saturday morning. Maybe I'll just sleep in and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
I'm really trying to give people an excuse to get a couple hours of extra sleep if you don't have to be out Saturday morning.
Definitely not.
Wrap up in the blankets. It's still going to be cold. It's going to be wet. And we'll get everything done later on in the morning.
That sounds good. No outdoor work on Saturday morning
go.
for sure. All right, thanks, Mike.